Welcome everybody. Legacy action now. Between Will McCarty at the bottom of the screen, who recorded it, against the defending Legacy champ, Tony Wacholz at the top of the screen. Tony's certainly back in the running for a finals position. You can look at the points here, 29 and 22. It's quite congested at the top of Division 1, so Will really can't afford to drop any more points here. Looks like he's on a Zurius Stoneblade because of the Gita. Gita goes in a lot of decks, but I'm going to guess Stoneblade. The other option is Blue-White Control, but I don't think Blue-White Control plays Delver. As I've mentioned many times before, I'm not a Legacy expert. Tony, I have no idea what he plays in Legacy. I'm just gonna he's gonna play a turn 1 Thoughtseize. What's he gonna take? Almost be tempted to take the Ponder here, depending if he's got a removal spell for the Delver or not, because if the Delver equips with the Jito, it'll be a problem, but Ponder's going to deny Will cards. And he takes the Jito, so he's gone for the safer option. It's fair enough. Brainstorm going to flip, so in hindsight, it's a pretty good decision because Brainstorm would have fixed him up anyway. I'm just going to bring up, while he's doing that, last season's Legacy Finals. To see how, yeah, so Tony played Blue-Black Death Shadow last year. He beat Damien Furtado in the final of the Legacy. So we'll see if he's on. Certainly looks like he could be on that again here. Scalding Tarn, could be anything. As for the Modern, just out of curiosity, because Will's the defending Modern champion, let me bring up the Modern table. Will just went through playing Boros Burn. We saw earlier he didn't play Boros Burn this time. He defeated Blue-White Control and Titan Shift on the way. He actually, and also Mono Red Dragons, Colron Chambers playing a bit of a brew there. Okay, so Blue-Black Death Shadow, Tony, if you won the title with it last year, why not just run it again? Now he knows about these 2 Swords to Plowshares, so it's kind of interesting that he played into that. He played into it obviously there with the days, but was not counting on the days on the other side of the table, so that's a big win there for Will. True name Nemesis, he's a land short. But it's starting to look like he's going to ride this Delver to victory. You'd think Blue-Black Death Shadow is going to have plenty of removal to deal with the Delver. You can see Will's got a Brainstorm, so he can Brainstorm into something. But there's a land issue going on here for Tony, it looks like. So he plays a Wasteland and straight away is just going to go after one of Will's lands. I'm not sure. I mean, that kind of gives. Oh, there's a Niv Magus. That card I played around with, just he got rid of it and drew another one. That card I played around with in Modern for a little bit to try and get it to work. I couldn't get it to work, so it's going to be interesting to see how Will does with this. You can see, okay, now he's got the Fatal Push, and he Brainstorms into 2 Force of Wills. That's going to be the win, I think. Well, that's a pretty good Brainstorm. Because you can see he's down to 5. He's got to find something next turn. Tony's got 3-4 cards in hand now. Does he find it? If he finds it, there's no counter spell, but he doesn't find it. Yeah, there's a pretty aggressive use of Wasteland there from Tony when he was struggling for lands, which suggested to me that he had nothing going on in hand. This one here, I'm not sure about this Force of Will. I would have almost been tempted to let that resolve because he wasn't really protecting anything major. And you can see there, no source. And no coloured source for Tony, so Will fetches up a basic to play around that wasteland. He's not going to be able to play around it next turn, unfortunately, for him. Can Tony find the source? He cannot, so still no coloured land source for Tony. 6 cards in hand. Here's Stoneforge Mystic. What's he going to go and find? He's going to find a Batterskull, so he's going for the throat here. Tony fires off that wasteland, so he's out of lands. He's got 7 in hand. Saying in chat, this is awful. I think he kind of brought it on himself a little bit. I can see why he wastelanded, like the rationale, because he's trying to keep Stoneforge from activating. And a lot of his cantrips can play for 1. But here's Batterskull, so this is going to be interesting. Will's starting to run away with this now. He's got 2 True Name Nemesis in hand. Yeah, this is looking ominous. Tony's going to need to get a string of removal spells here. He can't do anything about True Name Nemesis, so he's going to... Death Shadow can't even check it. It's got protection from everything. He's up to 2 lands. Can he find a removal spell? The problem is he can't even deal with that Batterskull. I mean, he can kill the worm because Will's nowhere near 5, but I think we're going to see a concession here. And we do.